Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be changing out the fuel injector on this 2009 Ford Escape. This is an XLT model with the 3.0 liter V6 engine, and this is what we're going to start doing today. So what we're going to first do is fuse box relay. You're going to pull on the clips. You're going to pull on the clips. There's one on each side, so there's two total. You got one here and one over here on this side. Then pull up, and then there's be a little hanger right here so it doesn't let go. Then your fuse, where it's going to be at, is going to be right here as it's pulled out, and this is going to be your fuel pump relay. So you can take that off and try to crank over the vehicle until you let all the prime from the fuel system out, and you can continue on after you take this out. Now the relay is going to look like something like this, and it's going to be mounted right there. So do not forget where you leave your relay. So once you finish with the job, you can reassemble it. And after that, I recommend you disconnect the negative battery terminal. So there's no arcing, no sparking, no nothing. When you're working with the fuel system, you want to be extra safe and cautious when you're taking off these fuel lines, especially since you don't want nothing happening. Now maybe nothing will happen, but just to be safe, you just disconnect that. That is an 8mm. You can just disconnect it off like this. Now it's disconnected, so you can start trying to wiggle it off just like that, and set it aside somewhere where it won't connect or touch anything that's a ground. So once you finish doing that, if you want to, you can also disconnect the positive. I'm just going to leave it on there, and then from there we can start by taking off the intake, which is these little clips right here. There's 1, 2, and 3. And you're also going to have this connector right here to disconnect as well. And you're also going to have this little bolt right here that mounts to the throttle body, and I can use a flat blade or you can use a millimeter. So you have to remove this 8mm right here and use a flat blade. Disconnect this clip right here for the air sensor. I think it's a MAF sensor or something. It's disconnected like that. Set it aside. So you can take off these little clips right here, and you can use a flat blade, or if you have a little trim tool with little 2 hooks on it, you can try and go in here and pull it up. Try to make sure it doesn't fall into the intake so you don't have to fish it out. And that should be it to remove the intake. Alright, and after you finish removing the clips, you have 3 of them right here. And if they do come apart in 2 pieces, all you have to do is realign it to the little brackets, and then you can reconnect them just like that. So after you got this disconnected right here, you can continue by removing this little hose down here, right there. So it's gonna be just a little one of these clips things where you have to pull back, like this little tab right here. You pull back on it, then you have to pull it out like that. It's an easy disconnect, and there's gonna be 2 little grommets under here. You're gonna pull up on it, remove it, and now it's out. So from there, let's move out of your way. It should come out as a whole assembly. Now I did forget to mention that you do have to pull this little clip right here that mounts onto this part right here. But once that is out, you can remove your whole entire assembly, and then that should give you way more access to the engine itself. Now from here you will have some connectors to disconnect, connectors like these. So this has a little red tab. You're just going to pull on it and then push down and pull out. And you're gonna have another one right here. All you have to do is push down on this little black tab right here and pull up, and you have another one that mounts to, I'm assuming, the EGR, which all you have to do is push down on this little gray clip right here, push down and pull out, and you will have this little holder which mounts into this part. It's going to pull it up, and then from that you can just move it out of the way, and that should give you more access. Now there will be one of these little things right here to push in, and then you just try to pull it up like so. There you go. So you push it in, then you pull up on that here. From the brake booster, it'll make a loud sound because it is vacuum pressured, and you won't have to remove it. Just remember to reconnect it once you're done. Now also you will have another clip right here. You have to disconnect. You just push in on this part back here. You just push in and pull out like that. That should come out easily. And then you also have this hose right here. Now get a pair of pliers and try to loosen it and pull it back. You will also have this connector, so you're going to pull it back with some pliers, you have some needle nose or something, and push it back and you slide it off from there. Okay, it is the next day for me, but what I started on doing is removing these two bolts. So you're supposed to remove these two right here, so there's going to be one here and one right here. I finished taking them off. Both of them are 10 millimeter. There's going to be one on each side, like one right there that's missing that I took off, and the other one's going to be back here. You can just feel around and then you can reach it through there. What I need to get better reach is using this gear wrench flex head. Now you probably can do it without using the flex head, but it's a bit more easier for me, so I just prefer doing it that way. And apart from there, you would have a bracket that would be mounted down there. Like, I'm not sure if you see, but there's that little thing, that little part right there, that's where a screw used to be bolted into, and it's actually supposed to be a little bracket for the intake, but it looks like the person here before didn't reinstall it, or maybe they lost it. So on this vehicle it doesn't have it, but on yours, if yours is still intact, you will still have it, which you'll have to take off. I recommend you can just remove the bottom one, so you don't have to remove the one that's attached to the intake. And then you're gonna have all of these bolts, like this one, this one, this one right here, this one, that one, and there's also one right there, and you also have this one up here. All of these are 8 millimeter, and I'm gonna take them off right now. Alright, I finished taking off all these bottom bolts. All I go across here. Now this top bolt is the only one that did come out, but the rest of these don't come out at all. I think it's how it's made. So that one is just gonna be a very, very long bolt, but this is the only one that came out, and the rest of them just stayed inside here. So we're just gonna remove it like that, and I'm gonna place it aside. So after you finish removing your upper intake plenum, you will want to cover up these ports with a piece of paper, or if not, a rag, so you don't let no dirt, debris, or anything get inside here, because it is going to be a very bad day for you if you let a piece of metal, a bolt, or a nut, or something get in there and damage the engine. Alright, so after you finish covering up your intake ports, there's going to be a bunch of little like clips that hold in the wiring harness, and all you're going to do is pull up. So there's one here, one right here, one right there, that's pulled over, it's right there, and another one right here. And it looks like it's kind of hard to get to the wiring plugs or connectors to feed a fuel injector, so all I'm going to do really is disconnect it from here, so then that gives me a little bit more access once I pull off the fuel rail, because there is 4 bolts, each 2 on each side. So there's one here, one here, one here, and one here. And let me check what size they are. Yeah, so these are all 8 millimeters, so you can take off all your 8 mils, and then you can pull up on the fuel injector. Alright, so after you finish removing your 4 8 millimeter bolts, you can slightly pull up on it, and for me, I really didn't struggle at all. It looks like someone was already in here before, because I can see that this O-ring is different from all of these ones compared, because all of them are black. So I'm assuming maybe someone changed out one injector. Now, I am here for the same reason, because the customer wants to change out one injector, so that's all I'm going to do. And that's for cylinder number 4, injector 4, and it's this one right here. As the order goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you don't have to remove the fuel line like I thought you did. So all you do is kind of like pull it up and then rotate it, and this thing will rotate with it. And for the fuel connectors, it's not that bad to now reach to, so you can pull it up for each one. Right here, I need both hands clip. They have to push in and pull up a little tab. You push in and then you pull out like that, and you have this retainer clip, and what you can do is pull it out with your hands. It's not bad to get to. Alright, so I finished pulling it out. It's just a little clip. It's a little retaining clip to hold on to the injector. Just make sure you don't lose these at all. So I'm just place them down somewhere, and then from there I'm just going to put a paper or a rag, whatever you want to do, to make sure you catch any fuel that comes out of the fuel line. So you can slowly start pulling it back real slowly. Just like that. And that's to take off one fuel injector. Now if you're going to do it to all, you could just repeat the same process. It's all the same way. And I'll get back to you once I finish installing the new injector. Alright, like I said before, the fuel injector I'm going to be replacing with is an OEM injector. Part number is CM-5155, and I'll get ready to install it. Alright, this is a new and old injector. Compare your new parts to your old parts, make sure they're all the same. And to me, this looks pretty much the same. This is an OEM injector. And this also looks like an OEM injector from '09, but this is the new one that we're going to get inside. Alright, after you get your new fuel injector inside, it's going to look something like this. So make sure you reinstall your retaining clip, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And then reinstall your connector until you hear a little clicking sound. When you hear a little click, that's when you know you have the connector fully inserted. And now from there, if you are going to be replacing the rest of the injectors, it should be the same process. You'll be finished in probably less than 10 minutes installing all injectors now. But for me, I will have to clean the rest of them, and I'll re-put them back inside. Also, once you're about to put them back inside, try to make sure you can at least clean out the little holes where they came out from, so they don't have to push dirt or any trash inside the actual engine. So I'm trying my best to do that now. Alright, and after you finish getting all the injectors put in, you can just push it right back in the way exactly you took it out. It shouldn't give you any issues, no resistance, no nothing. So you can just slowly pop it in there. No, don't jam it in there. Alright, so after you finish putting back all your injectors back in, you're going to reinstall all 4 of your bolts. Now, I don't think there's any torque specifications. Just make sure you just have them hand tight. Don't really go overboard on these. They're not really gonna hold something extremely hard or anything. So once you finish putting those back on, you're gonna put on your little retainer clips for your wiring harness, like this one right here, that one right here, and one more over there. And don't forget to reconnect the connector for your fuel injectors, like that, until you hear a little click sound. And then from there, we're gonna start reinstalling everything. Sorry that I didn't finish filming the rest of it. For the intake plenum, there's a torque specification and also a torque sequence that you have to follow. The torque is 89 inch-pounds. I'll try to link everything down below in the description that I used. And if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.